Relentless, don't wanna test us. We ball hard, run around with the best, you gon' learn your lesson.
Welcome to the Relentless Podcast. I'm Darnell Haney, head coach at the great Jacksonville University, home of the Relentless Women's Basketball Program. I'm joined by the OG Kenny Brooks, head coach at Virginia Tech, Terrell Robinson, head coach at North Carolina A&T, Ron Huey, head coach at the University of Houston, and David Six, head coach at Hampton University. How we doing, fellas?
Good, man. Doing good.
Another day above ground, man. We've had some big news and some losses that we've had this week. Start with the loss of the great John Thompson, who was from afar very influential in my life. And Coach Six, you had a really good talk and story about him on the last podcast, but talk a little bit about what he meant to you and what he meant to the whole DMV area, man, and how that went.
You know, I'm gonna keep it real with you. He had people thinking that Georgetown was a HBCU. You know, he really did. I mean, you know, people were wearing their kente cloth shorts and kente cloth, and he just did it the right way, and he made you want to excel. You know, he didn't back down. And like I said, his stance on Proposition 48 was unbelievable. I mean, he made it so a lot of inner city kids, a lot of impoverished kids could fulfill their dreams by going to college.
Elaborate on that a little bit for those who may not know about the Prop 48 situation and how he kind of fought for that and made sure that those kids could get in school.
You know, he you know, was standardized testing, and they were saying that if you didn't get out, I want to say it was a 720, Kenny?
700. 700.
Yeah, they said if you didn't get 700, you couldn't. So he walked out of a game. He walked out of a game in protest to bring light to it, and he got that thing changed.
Wow, that's awesome. Talk a little bit about, and you were in Virginia, Coach Brooks, but I know he had an impact on you. You talked a little bit about how he kind of took you under his wing at a game you had at Georgetown one time.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, and obviously, you know, I grew up in Virginia, 2 hours from D.C., and at a young age, man, we used to all see, you know, just white coaches. You know, the coach was always white, and he was the first influential black coach that I saw that made me want to coach. And obviously, I fell in love with his Georgetown teams. To this day, I can talk about their lineups, their rosters, the kids, you know, who they had, and you just wanted to emulate that. You know, at first it was like, okay, if I didn't make the NBA, you know, it was a wrap. You couldn't be in basketball. But, you know, he gave you that vision, man, that you could be a coach. You could be a very successful coach. And I remember the first time I ever saw him, we were in Hawaii. I was at James Madison. We were in Hawaii, and they played right before us. And I had no idea how tall the man was. And we were walking behind their bench, and he stood up with that big burly voice, and he screamed, man, I thought I peed myself. You know, just he was so intimidating. He was so big and so strong. And so, you know, years later, you know, obviously I switched over to the women's side. We took our team down to Georgetown, and we were scrimmaging. And I just felt this presence behind me. You know, I look back and I'm like, is that big coach? You know, is that big coach? I'm like, man, it is. And to my, you know, surprise, he was watching. You know, it wasn't like he was just strolling through the gym. He was watching.
Right.
Man, love that.
Sitting in the big chair in the middle.
Sitting in the big chair. And so we got to halftime, and I'm like, I got to go over here. I got to walk by him. I'm like, you know, do I say hello? Do I introduce myself? And right as I approached him and got up on him, he was like, Coach, let me talk to you for a second. And I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm walking over. He spent like 10, 15 minutes with me, man, just telling me about my team, what we can do. And at the end of the conversation, he said, you do a really good job with your team. And that's all I needed. I don't even know what happened the rest of the scrimmage. You know, and it was just that moment, man, because this guy he did it his way. And he let you know that you could go out there and you could be a coach. And the way he influenced, I'm sure he influenced all of us sitting right here on this panel right now. Mm-hmm. And he influenced so many people, and just to do right. And so a special man, and somebody who has influenced so many. And it's sad that it takes his passing for all of us to continue to recognize, the contributions that he had to not only basketball, but to a lot of people of our color.
Man, he was a giant, literally, and and in that sense of everything, man. So rest in peace to John Thompson. Just an awesome icon and an awesome person to look up to. I mean, I remember the Allen Iverson days, man, and you knew his presence. It was I remember the UNLV running Rebel days, and they had Jerry Tarkanian, and then you would see Georgetown, right? And you would see that, and you would everybody wanted to be a part of that. So he was huge. Coach Huey, September 1st is coming around, and phone calls, Zoom calls, direct messages to this 22 class is on. It's going crazy right now, right? Talk about how you have evolved and your program have evolved in recruiting these past couple of months, man.
Well, I can tell you what, y'all were having fun watching the game and texting back and forth with group message, and we were doing a Zoom visit, and I was so distracted, man. I was I had to turn my phone off, man. I wanted to jump in with y'all, but it was but yeah, man, it's been challenging, man. It's been challenging. On our end, we're not going to get, a top 50, top 25 kid in the country. So the thing for us is the presentation, how we develop our kids, showing that, in video and practice film and, those kind of things of how we get our kids better. And I get a kid, Diamond, from her freshman year to average 1 point to last year to average 12 points, to lead our team in threes, and then go on around to everybody else. My post player to play as a freshman, played 12 minutes and averaged 3 points, and then averaged 11, her sophomore year. It's just the development that we do that sets us apart. And it's hard trying to show that with the Zooms, because on the video stuff, it's kind of choppy and they can't get a realistic approach. And, so we still trying to go through and design, so we had one ready the last time. It was all the presentation for the player and the parents to be on. So all this stuff, we got on the Zoom. It was just a kid. Mom and dad was like, yeah, we were right here, but we still working, doing some stuff. And now we got this long presentation with stuff that not even gonna interest the kid, So now we try to see how we can skip through this and talk through that. And so it's challenging, man. So we met today just to kind of come up with 3 or 4 presentations of how we're gonna be able to do some things. But, the sense of still being, now when I have to be on the road, I can be at home, I can do it immediately, I can be with my family is a plus, things like that. But the other end, man, it's just really challenging. It changes the way we really do things, or the way we did things. And now you have to kind of evolve with the new way. And we're still evolving. And trying to figure that out.
Absolutely. What about you, Coach Brooks? How has that been?
It's the same. I mean, obviously, I got a phone call tonight after I get off with you guys.
Right.
Always working.
Always.
And, but it's funny. The September 1st thing doesn't mean as much as it used to, because we talk to those kids all the time. It's just that, okay, now I can call you. All right. That's the only thing. But it's been challenging. But we've done a pretty good job of making sure we stay relevant with kids. I think I was on a podcast with coach from Providence, Ed, not too long ago. And he was like, we're going to see how this stuff works, because we signed a lot of kids that we haven't even seen, live, or hadn't seen them recently live. So we might be able to steal one. We might have a dud somewhere. I don't know. But it's definitely been challenging. But everybody's under the same thing. But I tell you what, man, I've talked to so many 15, 16-year-old kids in the last 4 days that I don't even know which way I'm going sometimes.
Right. Coach Rob, you guys have had some success recruiting out, right? 2 classes ahead, maybe, maybe 2 classes ahead, a class ahead, or whatever the case may be. Talk about how those relationships that you build early, and how you guys go about pinpointing a A&T kid early.
I think the biggest thing that all you guys will agree with is identifying, talent or kids that fit in your system early. I'm gonna tell you, man, during my early parts of recruiting and coaching women's basketball, I had an issue evaluating talent. Like the first kid I wanted to offer was Camille Little. That's when she was a senior in high school. And everybody knows Arnie Morris. Arnie Morris, like, shit, man, you can't get that kid. Oh, okay, damn. All right, well, let me know. Let me know what So
right.
So and even when they're young, there's certain things that you have to look at. Their coordination, obviously their skill set, their strength, their basketball IQ. Like it's not. I feel like it's maybe a little bit easier with guys to see, in terms of their projection. But we do a great job identifying and just getting on them early. And I'm the type of coach that likes to focus on the kid that we built that relationship with. I don't like to do a whole lot of offering, 3 kids in the same position. I think that kind of, kills what you're trying to do, because especially even now with social media, these kids are posting when you offer them. So you got to get put on blast anyways. You know what I'm saying? They play the same position. But yeah, we benefit right now in this climate. We had a big class last year where we brought in 7 kids, 7 freshmen, and we're 1 or 2 scholarships right now, so we can really take our time and really focus in these next 2 classes. We can really focus, and we don't have to necessarily gamble on anybody. We can actually, see how this storm weathers as far as what's going on with the pandemic, and be able to recruit the right kid for our system. But yeah, we like to get ahead, man. We like to get ahead. We like to go ahead and put those offers out there, and they mean something when it comes crunch time. And crunch time is when it's time to make those decisions, and that's what I always bring back to those young women.
Got it.
Hey, D, can I follow up on something what Terrell just said and ask you guys a question? You guys feel like it's totally different now? Like it used to be back in the day, and probably Six can attest to this. Sometimes we wouldn't even offer a kid till we brought them in on campus on official visit. Mm-hmm. And now it seems like you're almost pressed to offer so you can continue talking to the kid. And and like Terrell said, a lot of times you feel like sometimes they just want to put it out on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys feel the same? Is it just me, or does it feel like it's getting like that?
Stacking offers. That's all. That's what we call it.
I think it ain't getting like that. I think it's like that, right? Yeah. I think it's like that, man. You get it. Like when my assistants is like, we got this kid. She's a 22 kid. I think we need to offer. And I'm like, I ain't even had one conversation with her yet, right? Like I don't even know. I don't know what she do. I don't know who she is. I don't know how she gonna help our program. Like as far as from, I can see you play on film, but it ain't just about being able to put the ball in the basket here, right? You got to be able to put the ball in the basket and do some other things. And some of my freshmen are figuring that out. It ain't all just you gonna have to hoop. You gonna have to make sure that you take care of business in the classroom. You got to make sure you at the meetings on time. You're going to have to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Do you have the character to do that every day, right? And am I getting somebody that I feel that I trust that is willing to sacrifice to do that every day? And I can't get that off of seeing you online playing. I just watched you online playing, matter of fact, and then I haven't talked to you yet. So I told my assistant I'm not offering her until I need to talk to her people, everything. I got to know that kid.
But that's just the power of social media now.
Yeah.
They out there on the AAU circuit, comparing notes on how many offers you have, how many offers you have, how many offers you have. And then you talk to some of these cats now, hey man, if you want to talk to, you got to offer first.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I know that any of you guys offered them, I'm offering them. I don't need to see them play. All right, so I'm gonna put that out there.
What you say? You go to Houston?
The
We
JU,
offer.
did Houston, the Virginia Tech, did Hampton offer? Well, shit, we gonna offer them. We not finna waste time. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no way to-
Hey, to Kenny's point, that happens too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if a certain program is offered a kid and the kid has interest, oh well, shit, hell.
No
You know what
question.
I'm saying? If it's a team in your league that's a respectable team and you know what they're about, you gotta match up that kid's interest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just unfortunately that's the game that we play right now.
Exactly, and I'm okay with that game because it measures.
Right.
The game that I can't get is the DM I got today. I got a 2025, and she's been offered by half the Big 12, the lower half of the Big 12, and the lower half of the SEC. And I want to talk to you and see can we work out something where we can get an offer from her because they got family in Houston. 2025, bro.
Hey, let me tell you something. I was just getting into coaching. I was at Middle Tennessee State. So I'm sitting there, me, George Porche, a couple of other guys sitting there. And so everybody got up. I'm just getting in it. I'm just starting coaching. Everybody got up and they started moving to another court. And I said, where y'all going? They said, we going to see Diamond. Diamond? Who is that?
Diamond the Shields.
They said, Diamond the Shields. I said, well, I'm going this way. I'm going to get Sapphire.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to get Sapphire. You know what I mean, man? Yeah, I'm going to get somebody that's going to come to Hampton.
Hey, tell me it don't always go through your mind when you get an AAU coach or a high school coach and they say, "Are you offering?" You know, does it always go through your mind, or are they accepting? You know, it's like I mean, I feel like sometimes we got to get to know the kids a little bit better, but it's happening so quick now. It's happening too quick.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something that gets on my nerves. Six, I don't know if you deal with this, but like when people DM me or text me and say these words, she can play at your level.
Oh, at your program.
No. No, we can't do that.
You lucky if you get a polite response back when you say that, because that's not the thing to say.
Rob, what I tell them is, hey, I think Beyonce look good too. don't call me with Esther Roll. I think Beyonce look good. You know what I mean? I got some dudes, man. The kid can't halfway walk. She can play in your program.
Exactly.
I don't need nobody that can play in my program. I need somebody that's better than my program.
I need somebody that can change.
No doubt.
Hello.
Well, the thing that get me about them, they say all that, and I asked them this right here. How many games have you seen us play? I hadn't seen y'all play, Coach.
Thank you.
At least he telling the truth.
Yeah, that's true.
At least he telling the truth. All right, good. Coach Six, NBA playoffs has been intense. The games, these last two games, last night were pretty crazy endings.
No, hold on. You want to hear crazy ending? Go ahead. The Raptors beat the Celtics at the buzzer on a three.
No way.
A cross-court pass to a three. The Raptors beat the Celtics.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness.
So, there definitely some crazy ending.
It's crazy, and I got some film that I want to watch with y'all, man, on those endings, because I got questions, man. I got questions because I think I'm a conspiracy theorist a little bit, right? And I think sometimes, like, I seen like some pop fly passes, and they just like it looked like they were trying to point shave, like Coach Brooks was talking about.
And six, what'd you call it last night? Rec league, right? Did you say it was some rec league?
That was a rec league ending. That was a rec league ending right there.
But I got questions about that. But Coach Six, you continue to harp on that perimeter shooting in that Heat versus Bucks game, and you talked about that. We talked about that in the last podcast. Elaborate on that a little bit about the importance of being able to shoot from the perimeter.
Listen, I think that's a difference in the Miami series. Every time Milwaukee makes a run, you know, either Hero or I can't remember what the other kid's name is.
Johnson, yeah.
No, not Johnson. The 55 that starts.
Robinson, that's what I meant. Robinson, my fault.
They stave off any run they make. You know, you come down here to 2, they come down here to 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it spaces the floor. It allows Jimmy Butler to do what he does because the spacing is there. Rodgers is killing them because of the spacing, and it allows and Bam Adebayo is not on, you know, clogging up the lane on the block. You know, he's a great passer, and so to me right now, the way the game is going, ain't no substitute for him to shoot.
No,
right now, you know, I mean. You hitting 3s inside, and you hitting 2s inside, and they making 3s.
You can't beat them. You can't beat them.
No.
It's a numbers game, and I don't know. Maybe you have Coach Huey or Coach Brooks. Do you guys have analytics? Do you guys go in analytics much with your staff, or do you use anybody for analytics at all? Coach,
yes,
you do.
I do. When we start with our scouting, my video guy give me a pre-scout, and it's the usage of the top players. So whether it's their top 2, 3, 4, and the usage that they're, you know, the amount of times that they're on the court, where they're getting the majority of their shots from, whether it's they're getting to the free throw line a lot, you know, so I get that kind of pre-scout. And so that's how we started to hone in with our kids on doing our scouting stuff. When that pre-scout comes a day before we get ready to play Kenny or whatever, and then the pre-scout is on Terrell now, you know, his 4 players, so I can start getting it in my mind. So as soon as the game over with Kenny, next day at practice, I can already be running stuff off, you know. But it's just 4 things, you know. I can't do all the other stuff because I'm not an analytical guy, but you give me the top players and where they want to shoot from, how they're trying to do things, and I can kind of narrow that down.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
You know, I'll tell you something interesting. A few years ago, I had a kid named from DC, a tough kid, played defense, but she couldn't shoot a lick. I had 2 kids on my team. They couldn't shoot a lick. I'm telling you. But they had the highest plus minus on the team. On the team. Because they got up in you, they forced turnovers and everything. So, you know, I'm like you. I don't put a whole lot of stock in analytics.
Right.
I'm a gut guy. I'm not analytical at all. You know, even on scouts, like I'll look at your 3-point percentage, but I look at how many you shoot. All right. Mm-hmm. So if you shoot 10 a game, then that means you think you can make them. You know, it's like because we all know, man. How many times have you played against that kid who shoot 22% and all of a sudden they hit 5 threes in a game?
Exactly.
You know, and we all looking at our assistants like, who the hell is that? Who is that? You know? So I don't really look at the actual percentages and things like that. I look at like tendencies. Tendencies that I shoot 10 a game. Well, coach gave me the green light. They must know that she can shoot. So we play them for that reason. I'm just not one of those guys that, hey, you know, synergy. Like I'll let my assistants use synergy and the percentages, but I don't really want to hear them because I'm more of a gut kind of guy.
Got it.
That's me too, Kenny. I'm with you.
Same. But I do play in a league that has a group that they played Ohio State a couple games before we played them, and Ohio State zoned them, and they shot 58 shots. They shot 48 threes.
That's 3-point shooting.
They
must be Florida Gold Coast.
You know it, 6. So they're gonna shoot that 3, right? And it's an analytics piece for him. He ain't shooting no mid ranges, and you know you played him. He ain't shooting no mid ranges. They get into the rim, or they gonna shoot the 3. So we really don't put a premium on that. I just want people that can make shots and take good shots and defend, right? And so that's where we are now. When I look at it, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and they're really big on this analytics piece, and it was they talk about these three things: your free throw percentage, your 3-point percentage, and your field goal percentage, right? And it's like a scale. And I kind of did it with my team, and it made a lot of sense with the scale. So the scale was like, if those three numbers, your 3-point percentage, your field goal percentage, and your free throw percentage add up to 150 or more, you are all conference kid. So I did it, right? I'll be damned, it was an all conference kid on my team. 155, right? She shot 70-something% from the free throw line. She shot like 79% from the free throw line. She shot like 35% from the three, and then she was like 48% from the something like that from the field goal percentage. So that means she's just taking good shots. Like you got Spider-Man at Utah for the playoffs. The dude is like 90, 50, 40 or something like that. Crazy. So it made sense when I did it, but I don't take too much into account on it.
I would tell you though, I think that your language is your language on your team.
Exactly.
For instance, if we get to 40 rebounds, we're gonna be in the game with you. I don't care who it is. If we get to 40-something rebounds, we're gonna give it. But what I do is this: I try to tell my kids that I try to turn you over. If I'm turning you over, if you go 26 for 26 from the floor, and I go 27 for 100, I still win. So I'm trying to get up as many shots as I can.
Got it.
You know what I mean, because you're not gonna be making shots every night, but I'm trying to turn you over every night.
It makes sense.
That's the thing for us. We have our own intangibles on defense. We want to force 20 back doors. It's 5 per quarter, and we count them out. On top of that, it's 5 turnovers per quarter. Things like that. We get into deflections. They know we're gonna have 30 by the end of the game. I got assistants that keep that. Wing denials and ball reversals. Where we don't let you make those. We're counting all of those, and when we win those stats, that's when we know we win the game. Because sometimes we shooting for 40, but we might not get but 25 rebounds. But you gotta have them steals though.
Right, you gotta have some turnovers if you ain't getting the rebound because they ain't shooting.
Have them.
Right. That makes sense. And that goes into pace of play too, right? So you want them to play fast so that you can get more shots up, so that you have more opportunities to score. So that goes into it. It's like Six said, it's the language and the analytics of your team and how you guys go about doing it. So that makes a lot of sense.
It's so interesting, man. Like listening to what's important to all of us. I mean, it's a lot of different ways to win it. You guys want to turn people over. Like I don't care if I get a turnover during the whole game, as long as we win the rebound battle. And that's just it all equals up to the same thing, but it's just like we do things differently, and what's really important to us. On the offensive end, for me, it's the 3-pointers. We want to beat you in the 3-point shots because it's prevalent to what we do, and it's what we are. And if we can get to 9 or 10, we probably going to win. We're probably going to win that game. Then there's some games we'll hit 15, some games we'll hit 17. So that's just the thing that's most important to us. Like I said, I've had games where I've only turned somebody over 8 times. And I'm cool because we out rebounded them by 15 or So it's interesting though, because all of us have had success in our own different ways.
Absolutely.
And the opposite of that is that for me, I might have a kid who can't shoot that well, but is great on defense, cause turnovers. Everybody can be good at the open court. You can make a layup, but you might not be able to make a three. So now you work hard on defense because my thing is in the open court. I'm not a 3-point shooter, so you're right. It's just how it works for each and every team.
Exactly. and I think that's what makes, you know, even teams in conference, in each of our conferences, all of us bring a different dynamic to each of our conferences, right? So we're gonna press, we're gonna run, we're gonna try to get up to 3, and we're gonna slash and attack you and drive you, right? Where other teams in our conference may try to slow it down, may try to shoot threes. Liberty's gonna try to just pound it inside. So like, I think having a niche as a program within your conference gives it gives your kids a sense of who they are and identity, right? And then it also gives the team and gives your team a confidence going in that, okay, we're getting ready to play North Carolina A&T. They know we gonna do this, and we gonna try to impose our will on doing our thing and playing our way. And if we're gonna have to adjust at times, but we're gonna try to play our way as much as possible so that we can just own ourselves and win that way, and possibly lose that way because it's who we are.
It's funny, we talked about Q earlier. We had Q on right now.
I know.
Yeah,
Q is a mixture of all of us.
exactly.
He gonna press and press, and he can press himself in and press himself out, but he's still gonna press.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, he gonna shoot the 3. We played them one time up in the Carrier Dome, and they shot 48 threes.
Yeah.
And I think they made 6 of them, but you know what? They kept shooting them.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
I had a question for him. I had a quote for him, man. He said, it's crazy. He said the team they were getting ready to play in the NCAA tournament, I forgot who it was, but they were going to zone them. He said, if they zone us, we're going to shoot 53. I said, wow.
Hey, every time he shot it, I was holding my breath. Hey,
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's how many they shoot. They thought they could make them shots. So.
And then they hit 3. It's a 9-point run like this. Bang, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm.
Like what
Right.
Six said.
So
Yeah, and the thing about Q them, like you said, they do all the different zone presses. So I asked him, I said, Q, I want to talk to you a little bit about pressing. He said, hey man, I'm gonna tell you right now, we just zone press. Whatever they show us, we just amoeba to that and just go with that.
yeah.
So we ain't running and jumping people, Huey. So you can take all the questions. You can take all them questions. And I was like, man, I saw you doing some run and jump. He said, that was Sykes and them doing that on their own, you know.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
They press you like a gnat. They always around.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
So we're in week 3 of our workouts at our place. The grind of virtual school, workouts, weights, time, it's hit now. It's not summer school no more for our kids, right? So it's hit. And a couple of our young kids, even with it being virtual, and probably because it's virtual, it's hitting them kind of hard, right? They got to be more organized than they would be if they were going to regular classes. I wanted to talk to you guys about that adjustment and how you've seen players survive that adjustment going from high school to this college atmosphere now, which is a lot different than it was in the past.
Well, for us, I'm gonna tell you, we have 7 freshmen, and what we do just in general with all our freshmen, their first 2 years, every week, every Sunday, they have to turn in their weekly schedule, like literally from what they're doing the entire day from when they wake up, because, as you guys know, these kids leave from going into a building where they're there the whole day, going class to class, schedule to schedule. And now when you come to college, it's totally different. So we try to help them in that, but dealing with the pandemic and obviously the virtual learning, we still have them, come in, whether it's coming in, into, one of our assistants' office or in the locker room or, in my office. We still hold them accountable to be somewhere besides their apartment, getting work done. And the summer we did pretty good. We had, one young lady that's still, trying to adjust, and she's had a great week this week. But for these, you know, for my upperclassmen, I don't know how you guys, your upperclassmen, saying they love it.
Oh,
My grad students, you know, they like, man, this is cake. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be in the gym all day, you know, and I like hearing that. Obviously, we like hearing that,
right.
You know. But the freshmen, they're still trying to get adjusted. But we're holding their hands right now. We feel like we have to right now because this is new.
Definitely.
I think it forces. I didn't know this, but I think it forces the kids to grow up. Because now they got to deal with the teacher themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, through email or do Zoom or however they want to do it. You know, I think when they come to school and there's no virtual learning, they kind of lean on you. Hey, this has happened or this happened or whatever. Now, you know, it's kind of, look, you deal with your teacher. You tell your teacher you know, I don't have, I can't get on to talk to your teacher. I don't know where your teacher is. So you know, where I think they grow up a little bit better.
For us,
before you go, Coach, you touch on it a little bit. You know, this generation struggles with the communication piece, right? And I think this forces them to kind of have to communicate at a high level throughout everything via email. Like there was one of my young ladies, you know, like she really don't know. She sent an email with no subject heading, right? So they don't know they even really had to do that. So she sent an email with no subject heading, sends it in, and we have them make sure they CC us with their email. But she CC'd me, and I hit her back like, you don't have any subject on this, right? So just learning the lay of the land and learning how to, like you said, Coach Six, grow up, man, is a big piece for them.
Yeah, for us, we do, they meet with Angel, our academic counselor, on FaceTime, each one every Monday. And they got a proactive sheet, kind of like what Terrell's talking about. So the kids have to fill out their own sheet from looking at their syllabus. And then Angel does it too. And then they meet on Monday to kind of make sure we got the same thing down. So they go through the week with that. With our freshmen, they have study hall hours. We usually don't do study hall hours. We have them come over 3 times a week right now to do that because, again, you know, trying to sit in your room, you just have too many distractions with TV, cell phone, all that kind of stuff. So they come into the building, they check their cell phone into their position coach, and they know where to go, different from the different social distancing places we have, from conference room to where we eat all our meals at, and our film room and things like that, to space out and do their work. And so then they have to come back up and email Angel and say, this is what I've done for this class, our counselor, so she can be able to jot it down. They also jot it down too. Well, our upperclassmen, we have what we call task hall. So if they got something that's due on Thursday and they could take care of their business on Monday and get it knocked out, they don't have to come back and see us Tuesday, Wednesday. Nice. You know, just because they've earned the right to be able to do that. That's why we call take care of your task and you got your time.
No question.
We teach freshmen to try to understand that right now, and you can be able to grow to that. But, you know, right now we don't even have them where you got so many hours. We just want you to come in, get in the routine, do your work like you're supposed to, check that phone. Once we check that phone, most of the work get done.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and they kind of taking care of things like that. But it's been really, really good for them. And the thing I like about it, we didn't have to chase people, you know. We don't have to chase people at all. And, you know, I'm fortunate to have the culture where we are now, because, again, there've been some years where we had to run them down, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I really appreciate the ones we have now.
It's awesome.
My biggest area of concern is I mean, academically, we have resources just like, you know, you guys do, stay on top of the kids. My biggest area of concern is just not being able to connect with the freshmen like we normally would be able to do in recent years. And sometimes I forget, man, that they're out there and it's not normal. And you know, we see them for a little bit, but you know, they can't come up to my office like they used to, you know, where I sit down and be able to talk to them, see how they're doing. Because you know how it is. You want to sit down, you want to look at them, look at their facial expressions, read them, see how they're doing, whatnot. And we're not getting that, you know. And then what we forget too is when they go back over on campus and go into their room, it's not like it used to be where they get to mingle with all the other freshmen and people on campus and the excitement of something new, where they're learning stuff new, and everybody's got football going on, and like none of that's happening. It's like, our campus is like our campus. It's almost like a ghost town. Nobody's like out walking around and doing that. And so sometimes I forget, and I got to make sure I check in with them, and we have a little FaceTime. But still, you having FaceTime. Now, when we get them on the court, we get to talk to them a little bit. Right, you're talking to them, but you're also getting on them. You tell them they got to do that. Hey, look, they get their tails kicked by the upperclassmen, then they go home, and it's just so that's the thing that I got to watch out for, to make sure that we're really checking up on them, make sure we're interacting with them best we can, because it's just not normal right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, to Kenny's point, man, I've never used FaceTime more than I use it now, man. I've never used, initially I'm like, I wasn't a FaceTime fan. I don't need to open this thing up and you see where the hell I'm at. I'm not, but now my kids will hit me up if I'm working out or what I'm doing, what? If I'm just getting out of the shower, what? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they need that connection. They need that sense of normalcy. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Yeah, I started the FaceTime about 2 years ago, or something like that, just with the recruiting piece, and it just spilled over with our kids. So they don't even make a regular call. It's everything FaceTime.
Everything's FaceTime.
Everything. So we, as a staff, jump on that thing.
Or text. Now they'll text in a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, they'll text in a minute. So.
Text some bad news. You supposed to call me for
that. Right. You want to text now?
I was reading.
Hey, look, coach, I'm in a car accident. What the? You texting
I was reading this article on young kids and how they are, and it said something interesting. It said that young people, the text group, they don't know what tone is. So because they're always texting, so they can't hear when someone's being genuine or if they displeased, or so you might say, "Hey, close my door on your way out," and they'll turn around and say, "Why you say it like that?" Like what? I just stick close the door. I mean, you said it like that. Like what? And they don't know tone, so they don't know when you're being genuine, when you're just talking to them, and
right.
It's interesting.
Hey, look, does this annoy y'all? Because I check all my new kids with this. All right, so the day is started, it's either the early afternoon, whatever, and you get a text just straight up saying what they need. Can you tell me how to do this? Ain't said good morning, ain't said good afternoon.
Right.
And I check all my freshmen. You better give me a good morning, how you doing, coach? Don't just text me what you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro, it's staff, everybody. You don't text me if you say good morning. They text me, Coach Huey, we got workouts or whatever, or you come in, all that. Good morning.
Right.
That's me. That's how I respond. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Exactly. And I owe that to Joy Williams because she got me every single time. She broke me. So I put that thing over everybody. She broke me, man, because I was so in a rush. And she was like, "You got to stop and smell the roses, man."
No question.
No
question. So, let's watch a little film, fellas.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's a foul, man.
Right.
Hold on real quick.
Now you know why they call that foul on Giannis.
They call that mess on the other end?
Yeah, he felt like, we called it on one end, we got to call it on the other.
Man.
Man.
And neither one of them should have been called.
No.
So I didn't see it, so they called both of them fouls?
You on a Zoom?
Hey, but look, your phone should have been going off because we was texting all through that mess. Like, what
it was. I couldn't get to it, man.
So I just wanted to highlight this. I talked about that. I tweeted about this yesterday. I feel like Miami might be playing the best basketball in the playoffs right now as far as team basketball. They're on a string defensively. I think they got everybody everybody on that floor is playing for each other, and it's like it's refreshing to see that. Like just defensively, I felt like they were. Say it again.
And they got the right matchup too.
They do. Just defensively, just making sure we're not fouling Giannis and making him take tough shots. He had to work for everything last night, man, and it was refreshing to watch that.
Did I lose you?
Can you see?
No, I lost you somewhere.
We see
you lost me.
Hold on. Go ahead. I'll get it.
Again, like when you got the veteran players, like we've had a couple, transfers and veteran players that can just kind of make plays and just kind of manipulate the referees a little bit, right? We had one, Lolia Briggs. I'll never forget her. She transferred from Pitt. She came down and played for us, and for 2 years, and she couldn't move. She had 3 surgeries. She couldn't move, but she would manipulate a ref, right? She'll come off, they'll try to send her off a stagger, have her locking and trailing, and she'll act like somebody clipped her and the referee got her. So just having that. But talk about this. Jimmy Butler catching the ball in the corner and just throwing it out of bounds. Why not call a timeout? Talk about that a little bit.
Rec league.
Caught the ball below the block in the coffin corner.
Yeah.
And just throw the ball up. It's point shaving, man. Watch this. Watch this point shaving. Watch this. Tyler Hero, wide open.
Man.
Watch this pass.
Hey, you know what though? Look at that. This is one of. Listen. We all have done this before, where we draw that shit up and we tell them who to throw it to, and that is exactly who they look at the entire time. Coach didn't say pass it to Hero. Coach said pass it to Jimmy.
There it is.
Right or wrong.
There it is.
Right. But we're seeing it at the highest level.
Right.
That is the only excuse. I don't know if them brothers, them cats get along or what, but it ain't no way that he shouldn't have passed it to him unless he was told this is where you need to get the ball.
That's the decoy.
And hell of a Randy Moss catch by Jimmy Butler.
They're big time. And to have one of those players, that when you throw the ball that way, they're going to come up with it. It's a luxury, ain't it? When you got one of them.
Always.
Hey, let me tell you what happened on that. All right. Coach Spo, he drew up the play. All right. He drew up the play. It's a really good play. Everybody got their assignments. When they broke the huddle and they walked out, Jimmy Butler went and told Rob Robinson, throw the ball to me. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
I made $26 million.
No question.
That's the only explanation right there. Because he was wide open.
And then he got Giannis on him, so it's gonna be. Look at his pass, man. Look at the pass, man.
Man, like the ball was going in.
I thought somebody would throw a flag for passing.
Heck of a catch, man. I've been tough on Jimmy. Heck of a catch.
Is this a foul?
No.
I just feel like a referee being the determining factor in a game is bogus.
Is that he made both calls?
I don't know if it was the same guy, but
I bet it was.
It was same guy.
Oh my God.
And the principle of verticality said you're entitled to everything straight up to the ceiling.
No question.
Can you keep on the D?
Yep.
But think about it though. Like, what's the new rule? What is it? The Jaja rule, where you gotta let them come down? Is that a factor?
I think that may be part of it.
Yeah, but you're entitled to your space too.
All right, but you want to see the best part of this play? I like watch Hero. All right, because they need a 3, right?
Yeah.
Watch how Hero plays.
Yeah.
Look at him now.
Rewind that. Watch it. Look at him. He go ahead, get that 2, bro.
Yeah. Go on and get it.
He's on top.
Look at it. Top logging him. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Enticing them to take a 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, look, and sitting on his shooting hand.
Yep.
Sitting on his shooting hand.
So Coach Brooks, this is another example. I guess they're gonna get the ball to Chris Paul at all costs. Maybe. But this was the talk of the town last night.
Yeah, when they call
They
the
needed
foul.
two.
But look,
They needed
Man,
two.
nope. Steven
Tied
Adams is
up.
open.
same thing. Coach said.
Look at this. It's
Hold
over.
on.
And even the next plays will be the same thing.
Exactly.
But you gotta be insane not to throw the ball to Steven Adams.
Coach said, pass it. Coach said, pass it to Chris.
He probably said,
Hey, come on, man. Hey,
Right
with
now.
that heat on you, when that heat on you, the players want y'all to be wrong. They want us to be wrong. When you said to pass it, that's why I ain't see it.
right.
Right?
Wow.
Or you say look up and they look up and throw it.
Right.
You said look up. I said look up. I ain't say throw it.
I ain't say throw it. How many times have we
Oh, man.
done that? A bunch of times. Hey, look. They throw it. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Just some endings that were kind of crazy. So in any event, I wanted to again thank you guys for being on today. I know each of us, all of your schedules get kind of hectic now, right? With workouts and practices going on, and I want to thank you guys for coming on. And we get back at this next week, man. But appreciate you, Coach Huey, Coach Six.
Highlighted my week, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, man.
Hey,
I appreciate y'all.
Look. Besides waiting on Huey to show us what he's watching at 3:00 in the morning.
If you know it's coming, boy. You know it's coming. I can't wait.
Hey,
Huey, what time you been asleep this week, man? 'Cause I know
Man, I average about 1, then I get back up about 5:30.
There you go. That's better than the 3. It's better than the 3 a.m.s, man.
Yeah. I'm running on the track, man, trying to get the weight off.
I got
So
you.
I got to get to the track by at least 6:30.
I
So
love it.
Hey, Donnell, let me tell you this story real quick.
Go ahead.
So the men's coach tells me today that he's got this kid who hadn't been going to class.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets with the kid and he talks to the kid and everything. And, we're virtual. So the teacher's been saying, well, he hasn't been in my class. How about the kid checking into another class?
wow.
All of his classes? Every class? Every class.
Oh, man. Oh,
I couldn't believe it when he told me that.
It's the pandemic we living in right now, man.
Is he a freshman?
No, but I don't know how. I mean, when you check into that class, it ain't nobody there but you. You should know.
I mean, he's not paying attention.
Yeah.
He just
I
logging
don't
in,
know.
man.
He
He
clicked
just
in.
logging in.
out.
Or you don't know. You in week 3, 4, and you don't know your instructors. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Damn. And ain't saying nothing.
He said, I'm going to class.
He is, but not the right one.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Wow.
Hey, Kenny say you about to go to work, right? You logging off and you about to go to work. You got a call to make. You got a deal to seal, buddy.
I got a big call to make, one of them big ones tonight. But I tell you what, though, man, we officially a club. All right, we officially a club right now because my wife hit me up. She said, it's almost 9 o'clock. You about to leave? We a club, man.
It's official.
Hey.
The Generals, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Hey, man, I was about to get D because he's shortening this thing up every time, man. We got to get more minutes to this thing, man. Like,
Cut it out,
You need that invite quicker, huh? Yeah. All right, man.
that's a good one, man.
Y'all be good.
Relentless, don't wanna test us. We ball hard, run around with the best.